Hello again and welcome to Crime in Music. I'm your host, Brian J. Kinsley, and with me today, my friend Ben Rupel.
I would like to, at some time in this podcast, Brian, bring up and explain to the audience and give you some props for the beautiful studio that you're putting together. It's a little better every single time. We don't have time to talk about it right now, but I want to get there.
And we'll get there, just like every other week we get there and bring you a new true crime podcast about people in and around the music business and their misadventures into law breaking. If you like music history, murder mystery, people with eccentricity, you've come to the right place. Share with a friend, tell a relative right now. We're trying to hit that big sky country like we discussed before. We need the Dakotas. Actually, you know what? Skip that. Let's go East Coast. Let's go New Hampshire. If you know someone in New Hampshire, you know someone in Maine.
New Hampshire?
Send them an episode. Send them your favorite episode. Tell them to check us out and give us a try. That's how we're going to grow the show bigger. We can bring you guys more stuff, more episodes, do more fun things. If you like fun things, check out our website, crimeandmusic.com. Leave us a speak pipe. Yeah, there's a monthly newsletter thing you can join. Check out some old episodes. All the artwork is on there. Click around. There's some fun things to try out there. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, the old episodes. Those are the ones that, when I listen to them, they're a little cringeworthy for us.
A little bit.
Not only because we're just getting our feet wet, but that technical difficulty thing came up a lot.
It does. It still happens.
Sometimes, things happen with computer. But now Brian's got the computer stuff pretty much down. New mics, new headphones. The studio's like an actual kind of a studio, and he's got now artwork he's hanging up, and he just pointed out the new piece of, I think it's on loan from the Louvre. The Louvre. It's Elvis's skull.
We have Elvis's skull. Yeah, we have Elvis's skull up here.
3D printed Elvis's skull. This place is dope as shit.
Thanks, man. That makes me feel good. Well, geez. Anyway, hey, man. It's good to see you.
Hey, man.
it's been a while since I saw you in studio. We had a couple of Jason episodes in there, but you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah,
and
back and forth.
And your front is here, too.
Yes, my front and my back are both here. It's a beautiful day here in Michigan. It's December.
It is December. Well, it's not. But hold on. Let's just hold on here. Give me 1 second. Let's get through guest to guest. Yeah, love that. Let's get through guest to guest, and then we'll talk about what time of year it is.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to play everyone's favorite game. I say that, but no one plays this game but you because it's in the title of the episode.
So many people have said, I log on and I pick an episode and it says, whatever, Kid Rock.
Yeah.
And so you go play Guest to Guest, and I know it's Kid Rock. Is there any way to get around that? Well, I don't think there is.
Don't think so. I'm sorry. I've tried. If you do know, let me know. Share it with me on social medias. I will try my hardest.
This is 100% Game for Ben.
There you go. Game for Ben.
I love it.
Here we go.
Game.
Guess the guess.
I sing this in my shower sometimes, all alone. I'll just do like, dun dun dun.
Nice.
Dun, dun. I'll just shout out something. John Lennon. No, shit. All right.
Ooh.
John Lee Hooker. No, not John Lee Hooker. John Bon Jovi. Nope, not John.
There are
a John.
A lot of Johns with you in the shower.
that deserves your little. There it is.
All right.
Go ahead.
Guess the guest. Speaking of showers, strange fruit.
Okay. Strange fruit. Well, hold on. Do I know this person?
Yes.
Okay. You hesitate a little bit. Strange fruit. Okay.
Strange fruit.
Nope.
No?
Nope. I don't want to start clouding my mind with wrong guesses.
Okay. This is our holiday episode.
Okay.
Strange fruit.
Is it Billie Holiday?
Damn it! Nothing I could do about that.
Okay. This was full what do they call it? We got to tell the truth here, Brian.
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. I did see that name on his computer screen.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there staring at it, and I'm not even really thinking about what I'm looking at, and I just said, shit, Brian, that's not our guest, is it? And
I tried.
No, that's what I'm doing with Jason. Okay. And you knew I was going to
I had no choice. Yeah, I had no choice.
You knew I was going to
I swap folders. I don't necessarily release them in the order we record them, so I swap folders, and Ben caught a glimpse.
Strange fruit. Nope. No, I have no idea what that's reference to.
And then we would have went to She Has a Boy's Name traditionally.
I would have gotten it with Holiday when you said Because you kind of
Lady Day, and then today is
I
our
would have
holiday
Billie
episode.
I would have said Billie. I think I don't know.
And then her actual name is Eleonora Fagan. And I would have said,
Okay.
Ben, have you ever heard of Eleonora Fagan?
No, I think I would have guessed Billie Holiday. After you said Holiday.
Holiday episode, yeah.
Yeah.
You can listen to this whenever you want, guys. It doesn't have to be. It's coincidental that we're recording this around American holidays, but you don't have to.
Well, I mean, a lot of the world celebrates this time of the year as a holiday season.
It's the holiday season.
Not just for the
Santa
big one here in
Claus
the Western world is Christmas,
That's true.
but you got your Hanukkah starting, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah,
or
Hanukkah,
Friday. Is it Fridays?
Kwanzaa.
But the end of the year is a thing too. I know the Chinese New Year is a different time of the year.
Chinese.
No, the
New Year?
big
I don't
holiday
know.
season.
Okay.
It doesn't just have to be Christmas.
No, Christmaka,
Christmica, yeah,
Festivus.
that's my favorite.
We got to put the poll up.
Airing of the grievances.
I'm a fan of feats of strength. That's fun.
I thought you already had a hernia operation you had to battle through.
I had 3. Speaking of unfortunate times in the hospital, April 7th, 1915, she's born, Eleonora Fagan. I just know it kind of hurts moms when babies are born. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA.
Okay.
She's got parents Clarence Holliday, her dad, and Sarah Julia, they call her Sadie Fagan. That's her mom. And she's born in Pennsylvania.
All right, Pennsylvania.
In the creepy town of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Wait, that's Transylvania.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
At the risk of seeming, right? She black chick?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, see, my dad has a lot of her albums, and we'd listen to them as kids, and I
good.
guess I didn't think about that when you're listening to the albums, and I
No.
probably haven't listened to a lot of Billie Holiday
Right.
anytime recently.
Right.
But that's my memory of Billie Holiday is listening to it in my dad's workshop or the house or whatever.
This is awesome. I was really hoping that was the case, honestly.
And so in my head, it just she's black chick.
you were
right?
correct.
Right.
That's the image you should have.
But I've been wrong so many times in this world. I'm guessing I don't, for whatever reason, something gets stuck in my head, and it is gospel.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm right this time. Good. I love being right.
Once in a lifetime.
Okay, she's born in Pennsylvania.
Her mom, Sadie, moves to Philadelphia at the age of 19 after she's evicted from her parents' house. This would be Eleanor's grandparents' house, down in Sandtown, Winchester neighborhood of Baltimore, Maryland, because she got pregnant with Eleonora.
So they kicked her out because she's having a baby?
Yup.
That's hardcore, dude.
So, with no support from her parents, she made arrangements with her older married half-sister, Eva Miller, and her and Eleanor are going to stay with her in Baltimore.
Wow.
So, not
That's
long.
That's rough.
That's a rough way to start, right?
Hey, Mom, Dad, I got something. I got to tell you. This guy got drunk and I'm pregnant. Get out.
Get out!
See ya. What?
Just the door closed.
I need help. I'm young. I don't know, Dad. Get out. Not under my roof.
Wow. That's harsh, dude. That is harsh.
That is harsh.
That is harsh.
Even for 1915.
All right. Not long after Eleanora is born and her dad, Clarence, he abandons the family to pursue his career as
A watchmaker.
a jazz banjo player and guitarist.
I've been to nearly 0 jazz musician things.
Jazz concerts.
But I gotta believe the number 0 would be about the number of banjo players in a jazz group.
It's hey guys, you guys doing some jazz? Yeah, who's your banjo player?
Let me grab my banjo. I'll be there.
I love jazz.
can't
What do you play? Piano, trumpet, banjo.
Yeah, stand-up bass? No, it's a different stringed instrument.
Definitely guitar.
Bass guitar? No. Lead? No. Banjo. Who let Steve Martin in?
I don't think you know what jazz is. No, he played rhythm guitar and banjo as a member of the Fletcher Henderson Orchestra. He also recorded with people like Benny Carter, Bob Howard, Charlie Turner, Lewis Metcalf, and Don Redman and his big band.
Oh, Don Redman.
Well, and his band.
Oh,
yeah, the
okay.
big band.
I only know Don, but no.
No, Charlie Turner is famous in that list. Benny Carter is pretty famous. Lewis Metcalf. These are all jazz guys. This is going to really draw on my jazz training.
So this is her dad.
This is her dad.
That ran out on him.
Right. He's like, man, it's my dream in life to play jazz banjo.
It wasn't to have a baby.
I didn't want a baby, especially since your parents kicked you out. So that means now I have to take care of everyone.
Sounds,
So I'm going to go play jazz banjo. That sounds like a more achievable dream than staying here and raising this kid.
Steve Martin has a podcast now.
Well, who doesn't?
Just about anybody on this shit.
Oh my God. Right. It's like just anybody in the world with a computer can get on the internet, start talking about shit. Well, don't worry about that.
I'm not.
That doesn't make any sense.
You wrote it.
I know.
Brian's. Let me give
I'm
the
completely
audience a
perplexed.
visual here. Brian just totally seized up, staring at his cards like Hypnotoad is drawn on there. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, right. Well, it makes no sense to me, but we're gonna run with it anyway because I write these a while ago. You know,
We're gonna
I
blame
don't
this on
memorize
the editor.
Yeah. Well, they'll be editing. He died in 1937. He did after being exposed to mustard gas while serving in World War I.
Oh, the dad did?
Yeah. So he fell ill with a
Ugh.
lung disorder while on tour in Texas and refused treatment at a local hospital. When they agreed to care, he was only allowed the Jim Crow ward of the Veterans Hospital. And by then, pneumonia sets in, and without antibiotics, his illness was fatal.
Oh, so he was in World War I.
He was.
Got a little mustard gas in him.
Apparently so.
That ain't good.
Right.
And had complications later on down the road
Correct.
after playing at all these smoky jazz clubs.
There you go. I was like, now keep in mind, I did say 1937. We're only at 1915 in her story, but her dad, you know what happens to him.
Okay, no
So.
need to talk about it.
Now, the problem is some historians disputed Eleanor's paternity, and there's a copy of her birth certificate in Baltimore that lists the father as Frank Device.
Device, I like that name.
Device. Devices. D-E, big D, capital D, little e, big V.
What do you think your wife's favorite device is?
Frank's. This is taking a turn. Other historians has considered this an anomaly, probably inserted by a hospital or a government worker. This guy Device lived in Philadelphia, and Sadie Harris might have known him through her work.
Okay.
You go, what kind of work does she do?
What kind of work does she do, right?
She took jobs that were then known as, quote, transportation jobs, serving passengers on railroads. She's
Yeah.
a railroad stewardess.
Helping him get off?
No, I think cigarettes. Cigarettes.
I just sometimes crack myself up.
You do a good job.
All right.
Eleanor grew up in Baltimore. She had a very difficult childhood, as we've already discussed.
It was hard.
A rough beginning.
It was hard.
She was raised largely by Eva Marie's mother-in-law, Martha Miller, and suffered from her mother's absences, being, she's taking care of people on the trains or whatever. And so that's the first decade of Eleanor's life. She frequently skipped school. January 5th, 1925. She's 9 years old. Truancy, she gets busted. Which results in her being brought before the juvenile court.
Ah, the juvenile court.
Now, as we've talked about children's prisons before, she's sent to the good...
Oh, what? Get ready for the like some flowery bullshit name. Here
She's
it comes.
sent to the House of Good Shepherd,
There we go.
a Catholic
Nailed it.
reform school, where on March 19th, 1925, she is, it almost read as forcibly baptized at the House of the Good Shepherd.
Somebody's bullying her in the bathroom and dunked her head in the toilet.
In the name of the Father. Swirlies, in the name of the Son. October 3rd, 1925, after 9 months in care, quote, care, she is paroled to her mother.
Oh, John, wow. So lucky.
You can leave, but your mom has to watch you.
Well, you're supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do.
I know, I wasn't
You're
trying to-
9, maybe 10 at the time, but whatever.
Well, okay, it's not bad. Her mom, Sadie, she opens a restaurant, the East Side Grill, and together her and her 9-year-old work long hours there.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Must have been really fun. Good tips and such, because 1926, the next year, she turns 10. Well, she turns 10, 11, whatever. Eleanor drops out of school, working
well,
at the diner,
She's making coin, man.
literally.
Well, and I don't think back then everybody stayed in school all the time. Were they still in the Philadelphia area?
I believe that's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I think there's different. Did my mic just go bye-bye for a half second?
For a half second.
Oh. No, I don't think it was that big of a deal in different
Plug
parts.
in the end.
No. What,
No,
you-
the end of the cord. Plug in the end.
It is plugged in.
No, this end. Like, see this thing here that plugs
You
into
want
the
me to touch it?
Just push it in. There you go. Just
Is
make-
it in?
Yeah.
That's what she said.
No, video like that. Go ahead, though.
No, back in that day, education wasn't as important as it is today, and it was drastically different from different regions of the country.
Oh, yeah. The importance of education as opposed to, like, coal mining.
Or or farming the fields. So
Right, or
for
farming,
a 10-year-old to stop going to school in the 1920s,
Not super unusual.
not super unusual. And in her case, I think she was actually go to school and starve, or help my mom with the restaurant.
Work
and
at the
we can
restaurant.
have a house and a house and food.
There you go.
Yeah, all right.
All right. Well, things are not going well. December 24th, 1926, Christmas Eve.
She just stays in school.
Oh, dude, she should have stayed in school because she comes home to discover neighbor Wilbur Rich is attempting to rape Eleonora.
What a dick.
Now, she successfully fought back and Rich is arrested. Officers placed Eleonora back at the house of Good Shepard under protective custody, quote unquote.
Oh, she gets sent back to the Who Scout because her mom was getting raped by a dude?
No, she was getting raped by a dude and her mom walked in and found him.
Oh, the 10-year-old was getting raped by a dude.
There you go.
Now I really want to shoot him in the face.
Right. So she's in protective custody at the Catholic Good Shepherd house.
Okay, so I'm going to
'cause
go back.
She's a state witness in a rape case now.
She's now getting sent to the juvenile detention center because she was a victim of a rape.
Correct. For her own protection.
All right, that sounds wrong,
Little sketch.
mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
yep.
But maybe it was for the best.
Well,
Let's just
February-
say it wasn't for the best.
February 1927. So she's there 2 months, 3 months. Eleanor is released again, and she's nearly 12 years old now.
Okay.
So she finds a job running errands in a brothel and scrubbing marble steps and the kitchens and bathroom floors of neighbors' homes.
Maybe she should have stayed in the juvenile home.
Might have stayed at school.
Working at the brothel.
Yeah.
Nice.
Around this time, she first hears the records of Louis Armstrong and Bessie Smith.
Okay.
Now,
Louis Armstrong was the trumpet dude, right?
I believe that's correct.
All right.
No, I know that's correct. It is.
Okay.
In particular, Eleonora cited West End blues as an intriguing influence, pointing specifically to the scat section. And there's a duet, and the clarinet is her favorite part. So now this West End blues is a multi-strain 12-bar blues composition by Joel King Oliver. It's most commonly performed as an instrumental, but it does have lyrics. And the final chorus is dominated by a 4-bar, 12-second long high B. Woo! Check that B. The West End in the title refers to the westmost part of Lake Pontchartrain within New Orleans Parish, Louisiana, USA.
Okay.
It's the last stop on the trolley line from New Orleans to the lake. And so it was like a summer resort sort of thing, with live music and pavilions, seafood restaurants, and lake bathing.
Lake bathing.
Yeah, you could bathe in the lake like fancy people.
Yeah.
That sounds so gross. Just to like
Dude.
bunch of people out there scrubbing up in the lake, and you're just like, ugh.
Honestly, I don't know too many times that I got done swimming in the lake. We swim in lakes here in Michigan. We don't have oceans. We have
Hundreds
lakes.
everywhere.
We have rivers.
Yeah.
We have pools. We have hot tubs. Whatever.
A river. We
After-
go tubing.
After almost all of those, including the pool and hot
Canoeing,
tub, I
kayaking.
kind of like to go bathe in a shower.
Yeah,
Like-
no, rinse off the
In a
PFAS off of your body, and
Dude, you get swimmers itch in lakes.
that's so gross. I hate talking about this stuff because then it's like I never want to go, and then
Swimmers itch. You got leeches in there. There's small fish that'll bite your toes.
check them down low for bites.
Yeah. Ugh.
By the end of 1928, Eleanor's mother moved to Harlem, New York, leaving Eleanor with Martha Miller, her Aunt Eva's mother-in-law again. And then early 1929, Ella moves up there to New York and joins her mom in Harlem. Their landlady is this really sharp-dressed lady. She's got real fancy duds on in 1929 for a lady. Her name is Florence Williams. What do you think she does?
She runs a brothel.
She runs a brothel
Nailed it.
at 151 West 140th Street. Eleonora's mother becomes a sex worker, and within a matter of days of arriving in New York, Eleonora, not even 14 yet, becomes a victim of sexual trafficking at $5 per client.
Oh my God.
I don't know how we got
Can
the
I
research
be done
on
now?
that.
Can I be done? I hate this part of the show.
It gets better.
So
Can't get much worse.
I was just about to say, I think Harlem was pretty nice back then.
It's going to be a good move.
Well, I mean,
I'm hoping big things for Eleonora. I'm seeing a good move here. May 2nd, 1929, the house is raided, the brothel, and Eleonora and her mom are sent to prison because forced sex work is still illegal.
all right.
I mean, I don't think it is.
Well-
That's just a line, but they go to jail.
I don't even want to get off on this tangent, but there is a bill trying to be passed. I just heard about it yesterday, where they want to start being able to charge in some certain circumstances underage sex workers as a crime.
Like
Like if you're
doing the job?
well, if you're in a spot in the world where being a sex worker is illegal
Okay.
and you get in trouble for it and you're 18, yeah, you get in trouble for it. But if you're
like a ticket. I
if
get
you're
you. Okay.
underage,
Right.
you're a victim. If you're overage, you're you're bad.
Consensual party.
So they're trying to say, there are too many sex workers out there that are underage getting away with it because they can.
Huh.
They don't get in trouble for it. So they want to make a law almost to help protect these kids.
Yeah, I'm like, this seems all backwards and counterintuitive.
But when you think about it,
Like-
there's kids out there that are underage doing it to make money, and they know they can get away with it. Like you can't get in trouble. All you got to do is say you're underage.
The damn internet's giving people too much information. I don't like it.
Yeah, let's stop it. Put a throttle on it.
No.
You should go live in one of those countries where you can turn it off on the El Presidente's got a fucking
Oh, just
lever.
flip the switch, man.
Just nope. El Presidente gets caught with a prostitute, and he's like, nope, don't want that getting out. Click.
I will tell you, you're a gamer. I'm going to share something I'm highly embarrassed about that's on my phone. But here we go.
Is it a bowling game?
No, it's not.
You said you had a bowling game.
I actually bought Tropico for my phone. It's embarrassing because that app cost $11. But I love that game so much on the Xbox because you are El Presidente of a
it's
small
fun. It's a
island
fun
nation.
game. Yeah.
And if people protest against the government, you can have them killed or like sent to prison or kicked off your island. And so, yeah, the app is awesome because it's just like that. The controls are real good and stuff. So you're saying El Presidente, and I'm just having flashbacks of my Tropico game right now.
Is that the one where you got to build your armies up and maybe fight another country off to the east or some crap?
You will have either Americans or Russians come and try and take over your army as superpowers, but you just have good relations with them in a diplomatic ministry. You buy them off, basically.
I don't think that's a game I've played in the past.
No, you're thinking of Risk, Global Domination.
Maybe I'll have to try Tropico. Is it on regular console, PC crap?
Yeah, hell, I
can
can
play on my phone.
No, it's on regular console. It's the Tropico 5, nuclear whatever. It's out there. El Presidente, and you've got your car. It's hilarious. You just said that.
So
it
you
just triggered
feel
in my
guilty
brain.
that you spent money on a video phone game?
$11 for an app. I'm a bit embarrassed by that, I will say.
All
That's like the $5,000 I'm rich bitch app. you know?
Sidebar to the sidebar.
Oh God.
My wife was trying to put together like the scavenger hunt thing for her and her friends to do virtually.
Yeah.
And my daughter says, "Oh, Mom, you should use this thing called Goose Chase Hunt."
Already
thing."
exists. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a thing. You got to just
Right.
plug your. So here goes through all this work of plugging in her crap. It's free if you only have 3 teams. Anything more than 3 teams.
Oh yeah.
You want to take a guess how much?
$200.
$300.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something stupid.
I figured.
And I'm telling. I'm like, no, it's not. You just didn't see the decimal point. No, it's 300. It's like,
wow.
and that's for the mid-level, entry-level buy-in.
Nope.
But it sounds like it's because they use this. People use this to make a living putting together scavenger hunts.
Oh, sure.
Or businesses use it for a thing. But yes, did not buy that. She did it old school and used some like paper.
Oh yeah. No. People, you can charge even more for that. Then it's handcrafted.
Yeah, well, Mandy put one together that we all did a few weeks ago. A bunch of families, bunch of kids.
This is where you run around your house, where you're like Zoom calling people.
Ran around Linden Fenton area.
Oh,
doing tasks.
I see.
Taking pictures, getting clues.
There it is.
Yeah.
Right on.
All right.
Well,
back to Edma Fitzgerald. What's her name? Billie Holiday?
Billie Holiday, a.k.a. Eleonora.
Eleonora.
July 29th, Eleonora spends some time in a workhouse. Her mom is released, and Eleonora is released in October. So she's out of the Huskow. As a young teenager, Eleonora started singing in nightclubs in Harlem. She took the professional pseudonym Billie Dove.
Billie Dove.
That's
All
who
right.
she got the Billie from Billie Dove. Now, Billie Dove is one of the more popular actresses of the 1920s. She appeared in such silent films as Douglas Fairbanks' smash hit Technicolor, The Black Pirate.
Oh, it was in Technicolor and it was silent?
Yup. You remember that? Well, whatever. 1926.
That's when they had like tube TVs and stuff, not these fancy flat screens.
I don't
Was
think they had
that 4K?
TV. I don't think they had TV in 1926, but I could be wrong. I'm not. I had a film class. I think the first color film is The Great Train Robbery, and that's the one where people.
These are movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Black
All
and
right.
white
Never
movies.
mind. Yeah, you're right. I don't think they had TV until like the
50s.
90s. the 80s?
Yeah, somewhere in the 80s.
Yeah, somewhere in the 80s.
She combined Billie from this Billie Dove actress, the first name, with her probable father last name, Clarence Holliday's last name, and that's how she got Billie Holiday.
Oh, okay.
Now, see, the other part's weird is that she spelled her last name at the beginning, Hall, Hall, Holiday, and then that was her dad's actual last name, Clarence Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
But then he changed it to Holiday because that's like peppy and jazzy, and so she's like, Holiday. I'm gonna change mine to Holiday. So she got Billie Holiday.
All right.
There you go. 1929 to 1931, she teams up with her neighbor. The guy plays tenor saxophone. His name's Kenneth Holland. They perform at clubs like the Grey Dawn, Pods and Jerry's on 133 Street.
Yeah, they make good ice cream.
Pods and Jerry's, yep. Rocky Raccoon Road and things like that. They also play at the Brooks Elks Club.
Oh, the Elks Club was around back then, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's Elks.
Hit the Eagles next. Huh?
Elks,
Go to
Eagles.
VFW.
What I want to write a song. I'm an elk, I'm a moose, I'm an eagle, I'm a lion. There's no social club, I'm not trying.
That's a good song, Brian.
You like it? That's my song right there. Here you go. The King of Swing, Benny Goodman, American jazz band leader and clarinetist, recalled hearing Eleonora in 1931 at this place called the Bright Spot. As her reputation grew, she played many clubs, including the Mexicos, the Alhambra Bar and Grill.
Well, I think there's a Mexican joint in our town that's the Alhambra.
Well, the Alhambra is a theater in Harlem, New York, built in 1905, where she meets Charlie Linton. He's a vocalist. No, thank you. Talking. He's a mint. Jeez, see what you did there? He's a vocalist who later worked with Chick Webb. He's an American jazz swing drummer and band leader. These guys will come back around. It's also during this period that Eleanor is connected with her father before he dies. He was playing in Fletcher Henderson's band. We talked about that.
Not her real father. The guy that ran out on him.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Correct. But probably her dad.
Maybe.
Anyway. Yeah. 1932, 17-year-old Eleanor replaces singer Monette Moore at the Covans. That's a club on West 132nd Street. There's a lot of clubs in the 130s streets here in New York, I'm learning.
Yeah, well,
Is that the club district?
Probably club district.
There you go.
Yeah, club boys.
Producer John Hammond, who loves this Monette Moore singer, right? He's a big music producer. He came down to hear Monette sing. But Eleonora goes up first. Eleonora steals the show. What's his name here? This dude, John, he likes Eleonora. And it's kind of screws Monette more.
Likes her?
No, just like her voice. Like,
okay.
Oh God, I don't even care who the next one is. We're signing her.
So the other lady was probably aware that she was kind of being scoped.
Oh yeah.
And she's excited, and all of a sudden Billie gets up there and blasts, and then her thunder was definitely stolen.
Sure, man.
I bet they weren't best friends after that.
Black Swan. No,
and she was only 17.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, November 1933, this John Hammond guy, he arranges for Eleanor to make her recording debut when she's 18 with Benny Goodman.
That's in it with Benny Goodman.
Yes, but he's like
doing?
the band. He's Benny Goodman and his orchestra.
Okay,
featuring Eleanora.
Okay,
Billie Holiday, but still.
I'm thinking of Benny Hill.
Benny Hill. Yeah, yakety sax. That we could actually probably play. I was thinking that. Guys like English people running around like funny, like a man in a dress, humorous. She records 2 songs with Benny, Your Mother's Son-in-Law and Riffin. Well, I'm sorry, and Riffin the Scotch.
I don't know what that means. Is that a
Riffin the Scotch? I don't know.
Scotch.
That becomes her first hit though. Son-in-Law sells 300 copies. It was not well received. Riffin the Scotch, released on November 11th, a little way later, sold 5,000 copies. It was well received.
I'm sure most of those are getting just sold right there in New York City.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
At the 19 whatever we're in, she's 20s? Sure.
Yeah, late 20s.
30s, because she's in her 20s.
Well, no, this is the time of the roaring 20s.
Yeah.
Prohibition.
1933, actually.
When did Prohibition get canceled?
29.
Yeah, so she was kind of
at the and the resurgence. You're right. Yeah. Okay. So like us, this guy John Hammond's impressed by Eleanor's singing and style, and he says, "quote Her singing almost changed my musical tastes, my musical life, because she was the first girl singer I'd come across who actually sang and had improvisational jazz genius." So he's like,
A girl can do music.
girl.
It's amazing.
It's weird,
I
but I
didn't think-
like it.
I didn't think they could do music. She does so much good music.
She's so good, Hammond compared Eleonora favorably to Louis Armstrong and said that she had a good sense of lyric content for her young age.
Oh, all right. High praise.
1935, Eleonora lands a small role in Duke Ellington's musical short film, Symphony in Black. She plays a woman abused by her lover and sings Saddest Tale in her scene.
She had to live that back in the day, man.
I'm sure she was able to emote pretty well and relate.
Nice emote.
1935, Eleonora is signed to Brunswick by John Hammond to record pop tunes with pianist Teddy Wilson in the swing style for the growing jukebox trade.
Yeah, I the jukebox trade. And I wonder if Dell would be able to kind of shed any light on that, because he is a big jukebox guy.
He's a big juker.
Yeah, that's Jason's dad. So because of the jukebox, it actually steered music in a certain direction because they needed to have songs that were at certain lengths that would fit on certain size albums,
Yep.
little tiny
Little records. Yep.
and they
45s.
needed it to be a certain length because they didn't want to have somebody go in there and put like the both sides of Jethro Tull's thick as a brick on there for 20, for a nickel.
Like a Beethoven symphony, I
Yeah,
guess,
you
at the
wanted it
time.
to be nice and quick. Go in there, put some more money in the jukebox, and play
Right.
another song. So that, and you knew you needed to maintain their standard of length, and or else you weren't getting playing in the jukebox, which was a huge media outlet for them.
Now, admittedly, I don't plan any of our sidebars or rants, but I do sort of see them coming down the path sometimes. Never did I think you would pick up on the jukebox trade.
And how it steered music
as
as
how
we
it
know it
steered
today.
music because it did. You're right. Like my first thought was like, let's give a gamble on these jukeboxes that they're trying out and see how this jukebox works. And then two, you're right. They had a certain amount of time because of the 45 size record, and you would have had to adjust what went in there. And then that sort of was the availability, access to resources, so people can listen to music at the jukebox now, which was never an option before. What kind of music it presents them would be like, oh, new and cool to them. Like, oh, this jukebox music, I like that better than the radio music.
Yeah. And,
Huh.
okay, so you remember when you were a kid? This was probably kind of new when we were kids. You go to a diner or a little restaurant with your family,
They got that.
and every
thing.
booth had its own little jukebox.
That's correct.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Dad, give me a quarter. I ain't spending money on that shit.
That's hilarious. The jukebox
And you
trade.
put some money in there, and you hit like whatever F7, and Weird Al comes on. Now your dad's even more pissed.
Now, what was it that where were we when we put the same song in the jukebox like 7 times? I know other people have done it.
You're thinking of that comic that played.
No, Mulrooney, yeah, or whatever, Mulaney. I just listened to that bit, but I swear we were at Kathy's or something where somebody was like, if they play that goddamn song again.
What was? Oh, I can't even think of the song. It was that comedian played over and over.
What's New Pussycat?
What's new, pussycat?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now the 7th time it comes around. Yeah, no, but I mean, that's a gag people can do. Homework, everybody. Go find a jukebox. Say it correctly, first of all, and then load in, I don't know, $5-6 of one song.
Well, now they have ways to play music at the bar on an app on your phone, and you can pay money for it. And I've heard of people going in there and just playing at the wrong bar. You're like at a biker bar. Next thing you know, you have Britney Spears getting just blasted through the. What's the brewery? Dark Horse Brewery.
Okay.
They make their Crooked Tree beer.
Right.
Pretty big. They had a stint on the reality TV show on Discovery.
Oh,
doing
yeah.
Some crap. But you walk into that brewery and there's a jukebox, and they have a taped on 8.5 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 piece of paper in bold letters right off the LaserJet printer that says, caution, do not play any. What were the 2 bands? I know one was Nickelback.
No Nickelback.
And there was another one, because if you play it, we're going to shut the jukebox off. We're kicking you out. And it says by the manager's name, and the Aaron Morse, the owner, says Aaron will come out here, turn the jukebox off, and kick you and your party out.
Nice.
And he ain't fucking around.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just had a realization as you told that story, and I tried my hardest to pay attention. But you think they're called Nickelback because people were like, I want my nickel back. This is not worth the money.
100%. I
you
know
go.
that's the reason now, Brian. In my brain, that is the reason.
I love this reality that you live in. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. We're coming out the jukebox trade, right? So here's the first time they're allowed to do improvisation. I can't say the word improvisational.
Don't try. Just do
Okay.
it.
Oh, there is no, okay, Yoda. Here's a first for the times. They were allowed to improvise the material. Eleanor's improvisational use of melody and how she made it fit the emotion was revolutionary back then.
Okay.
People were all very rigid and strict, like stick to the sheet music.
You mean when they were out performing?
Outperforming, correct.
Okay, well, I thought jazz was always improv.
Apparently not.
Maybe not when you're playing with a big band.
Right.
Okay.
So the first collaboration included a song called What a Little Moonlight Can Do and another one called Miss Brown to You. That's Miss Brown to You.
Okay.
What a Little Moonlight Can Do has been deemed her claim to fame. So that's like one of her popular songs.
I want to listen to some of this music now because I know my dad has he really enjoyed that. Not a ton of that time music, but her.
No, she's very popular.
Yeah.
Along with the audio heads. Absolutely. This guy Brunswick, he didn't like the recording session because producers wanted Eleanor to sound more like this lady, Miss Cleo.
Your future red. Is that what you want me to say?
I was waiting, but no. Miss Cleopatra Brown is her name. She was a contemporary singer at the time and a peer to Billie Holiday.
You think Miss Cleo's still alive?
Oh, probably.
What do these stars have for you? No, you don't remember
Where
this?
do you think she's from?
Jamaica, man.
Oh, that's your Jamaican accent. Okay.
It's clear as
I think
night.
you sounded like a Fez on that 70s show. I wasn't certain.
Who was 100% completely American, and that was a joke accent.
Yes.
And then the other chick was 100% completely Russian and had a perfect American accent.
Mila Kunis?
Yeah.
I think she's just American. She can
Nope.
speak Russian.
Nope.
You would think she talked like moose and squirrel.
Yes.
That's how, I apologize to the one Russian listener we have, but leave us a speak pipe. Let
You
us know
said
how you
moose
talk.
and squirrel, all right?
Well, that's just a Rocky and Bullwinkle reference because that was always.
No, she's Russian or Ukrainian or some Eastern frickin' country over there.
It's not Ukrainian bakery. It's my Cranian bakery.
Someplace James Bond got into some trouble at.
Well, now, after What a Little Moonlight Can Do was successful, the company began considering Eleonora as like an artist in her own right. They're like, okay, maybe we can just start selling songs off of this girl. We don't need
She's just the singer.
we don't need Benny Hill or any of the rest of them. She begins recording under her own name a year later for Vocal Lion Records. Rawr. Vocal Lion. Rawr.
Right.
Brunswick was broke and unable to record many jazz tunes at the time. So they're like, okay, we can't do jazz. Eleanor and other musicians came into the studio without written arrangements. That reduced recording costs because when you got the written arrangements, you got to take time to do the hand notations and stuff. She's coming in there doing this improvisational thing in the studio. And they're like, it's not what we do, but I'm liking it.
It's cheap. We'll
Right.
do it. We'll give it a shot.
So that reduced recording costs. Brunswick paid Eleonora a flat fee rather than the royalty. That saved the company a bunch of money. So she's helping bail out this Brunswick Records.
Now they ended up going bankrupt and totally remodeling their business plan, and they started making bowling balls. Correct, Brian?
Yeah, and lanes and waxes.
Okay. Yes, big lane and wax manufacturer, still to this day.
Chalk bags.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all sorts
Ball returners.
of ball polishers.
Yeah, a lot of ball polishers.
Got to
and-
keep your balls polished. No, this is a different company, Brunswick. This is that one that I named it as a person, but it's not. It's Brunswick Records. This song, I Cried For You, sold 15,000 copies, which the guy John Hammond called a huge hit for Brunswick. Most records that made money sold around 3,000 to 4,000 copies back then.
Okay.
So triple that.
All right. Well, we're not into a ton of crime. We got a little crime. We got more crime on the way?
A little bit.
All right.
You'll get there.
All right. Is she going to kill anybody?
Ooh. I can't tell you that. That's no spoilers. 1937, Eleanor had a brief stint as a big band vocalist with Count Basie. Wahaha.
Count Basie. That 100% sounds like a name that could be used today.
Count Basie?
Were they really a count? Like, owned a small village in Transylvania or something?
Yeah, was he bequeathed property
Yeah.
by a lord? Possibly.
I own Stumpworth on Thames. I am Count Basie.
You can buy a lordship on Groupon. I saw that looking for
Yeah?
things. Yeah.
I thought that was just the latest Lord album.
No, Lord.
Lord.
Traveling conditions for the band were often poor. They performed many one-nighters in clubs, moving on city to city with little stability. Eleonora chose the song she sang, which is unusual, and she had a hand in the arrangements, choosing to portray her developing persona as a woman unlucky in love. So she's starting to develop this character.
Yeah, and I think these musicians, even some of the ones that were kind of successful at the time, part of being a musician is you're going to have to travel.
Yep.
And it's going to be shitty.
Working the road, and it's going to suck.
It's going to suck. Sometimes you're going to be so sick being on that bus and your feet are freezing.
I was going to, you might lose a foot.
You might, and you're like, fuck it. I'm getting an airplane. Get me out of here.
Yep. Half the band might die in a plane crash, but you're going to the next gig. They'll hold one show, not two, if you're doing that next show. If not, you'll get, what was that? Who was it? Merle Haggard, I think, was that episode.
Was it Merle?
Check out the Merle Haggard episode and learn of the day the music died.
There you go.
Eleanor's tunes included I Must Have That Man.
Ooh,
Traveling All Alone.
Yeah, see, it adds to their music.
I Can't Get Started. And
the
Summertime.
The inflection, people. I hope everybody appreciates the inflection.
1936, Summertime was a big hit for Eleonora. Eleonora finds herself in direct competition with popular singer Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
And Fitzgerald was a vocalist for that Chick Webb band, we talked about him earlier, which was in direct competition with Basie's band. They beefin'.
Did they call it that?
No, they did not call it that. They actually became friends later on, Ella Fitzgerald and Eleonora.
And Count Basie?
Yes, Count Basie and Chick Webb also become friends later on after a couple of... They actually had Battle of the Bands back in those days.
I thought that started with the doo-wop bands.
I don't know, but these guys, there was a couple references where they had Battle of the Bands where like Chick Webb and his band would be playing this show, and then you'd have Basie and their band come and they play another song and they go back and forth, and it was really good for the audience. I don't know about the bands, but...
So they didn't all just come in at the same time, like snapping their fingers?
Da-dun, da-dun, da-da-da-da-dun.
So yeah,
Battle
of the Bands.
You're a jet from your first cigarette. You're a jet all the way.
I've never seen it, man.
Oh, yeah?
I've never seen it. I only have mild references I can use on that one.
How do you like a girl named Maria?
Is that on there?
No, but there is a song named Maria because she's the main love interest.
I know from Seinfeld.
They become friends, Eleonora, Ella Fitzgerald. February 1938, Eleonora is no longer singing for Count Basie. Now, various reasons have been given for her firing. Jimmy Russ, Basie's male vocalist, called her unprofessional. And according to internet sources, Eleonora was fired for being temperamental and unreliable.
She was a woman.
Well, she complained about low pay and poor working conditions, and that may
female.
She may have refused to sing songs requested by other people. And
so
they're like, "Hey, can you sing this song or change the style?" You hold on to that. We'll come back to that about men in the crowd. A month after being fired from Count Basie's band, Eleanor is hired by Artie Shaw.
Oh, she was probably getting screwed over.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, and she was trying to stand up for herself.
Right. They weren't having it.
And you know, I'm being a stupid funny guy, but they were serious. Like, no, you're just you're the girl.
Yeah. Excuse me, lady, go sit down. Make me a sandwich.
We'll tell you when we either need you to A, sing, or B, bring us a sandwich.
That's just the times. We are joking, and it's not cool, but that was what people did back then.
Well, we're joking to put a spotlight on that she was probably trying to stand over herself.
Yeah, this poor woman's an amazingly talented singer, and she's just like, guys, do you mind if we don't sing? I don't really like that song. It's hard on my throat. They're like, shut up! Yeah. You sing when we tell you to sing. She's like, I'm sorry. She's probably nice about it. But she was, if she was nice about it or not, she was one of the first black women to work with a white orchestra. That was super unusual back then. And it's also the first time a black female singer was employed full-time, toured around the segregated U.S. South with a white band leader. So she was taking some risks.
And that's one more layer of that do what we tell you sort of
Right.
mentality.
Now, in situations where there were lots of racial tension, this Artie Shaw, he actually stuck up for her. This one time, she wasn't permitted to sit on the bandstand with the other vocalists because she was black. And then Artie Shaw goes up to her and he's like, I want you on the bandstand like Helen Forrest, Tony Pastor, and everybody else.
Well, yeah,
So-
she was his meal ticket.
So he was being cool. I think he saw that. But a lot of
Yeah.
people wouldn't have recognized that back then. Just been like, yeah, whatever. She can sit in the chair in the corner and sing from there.
I wonder how
But
many.
he was like, dude, this is just a person. She's fucking talented. Get her up on stage.
Yeah, good for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You wondered something? No more
Probably. It's
wonders.
already gone through
All
my
right.
head.
There you go. Well, wonder about this. When she's touring the South, Eleanor would sometimes get heckled by members of the audience, like you were saying. Now, in Louisville, Kentucky, a man called her a wench. Might have slipped another word in there before
Where
that.
at, Brian?
Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville.
There we
Kentucky.
go, Ryan.
I'm sorry. Nice. Thank you.
Louisville.
Louisville. She's at Louisville, Kentucky. And a man called her, a man called her a wench and a bad name and requested she sing a different song. Eleonora. Hell no! She lost it, dude. She went after the guy and she had to be escorted off stage by other members of the band because she's going to beat his ass.
I guarantee you, what weapon of choice you think she was carrying in her hand running after that dude?
A purse?
Nope.
Oh.
A shoe.
A shoe.
You know.
Oh, yeah. No, right.
He's
Beating shoe.
coming after you with a shoe.
The Ike Turner. Hell yeah, man. I don't want to hurt my hand.
Coming. You don't just take that shoe off, sir. Come here. I'm coming to get you.
Now, I have been heckled on stage and wanted to fight people, and that reminds me of my high school band, 21 Days. So we're going to take a break real quick. And when we come back, well, more of Eleonora and the story of Billie Holiday. Okay, this will be edited.
Well, no, I like this part. I feel like this is the part where maybe you can hear me talking in the background because I was not in the band. I might have been at the concert.
Very possible.
Yeah.
It's a slow, sort of sad song because I figure Eleonora is kind of sad.
It's sad on so many levels, Brian.
Wow, thanks, man. Oh, you mean this song? And we're back.
Dude, it is December. We are in the northern hemisphere
Yes, 38
of the
parallel.
Earth. So this is our winter,
Yes,
where in this part of the world we get things like snow.
typically.
There's no snow out there.
No.
It's pretty nice out there.
It's pretty nice.
I may go walleye fishing tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt's like, hey, you want to go? We'll meet you halfway, go out to the bay. Yeah, okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's December.
If you want to check out some fishing, go to YouTube and check out onelastcast.org. You can see some ice fishing that Ben and I have done, or some river fishing if you're up in the Flint area or appreciate urban fishing.
Urban fishing.
Onelastcast.org.
Yeah, it's good. A lot of editing.
Well, oh yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
it's a
editing.
fishing show. Yeah, you got to, man.
Yeah, that's a weekend and a half's worth of filming for 7 minutes of video.
Average. Yeah. Intro, outro.
So what do we got here? We got Billie Holiday teed up.
We're back at Billie Holiday. We're calling her Eleonora because that's her birth name. So,
And she's now just starting to venture out kind of on her own and get credit for it.
that is correct. She's
Yeah.
going through some of the South as a black female lead singer, and she's getting her band leader Artie Shaw sticking up for her. March 1938, Artie Shaw, and Eleonora are broadcast on New York City's powerful radio station WABC. The original WABC is now WCBS. But because of their success, they were given an extra time slot to broadcast back in April, which increases their exposure again. Now she's on the radio.
The big, huge radio, flame throwing 1,200 gigawatts out at one time.
50,000 watts. Eleonora is touring with Count Basie and Artie Shaw. She scores a string of radio and retail hits with Teddy Wilson, becomes an established artist in the record industry. Her song, What's a Little Moonlight Can Do, and Easy Living are imitated by singers across America and are quickly becoming jazz standards. September 1938, Eleonora's single, I'm Gonna Lock My Heart, is ranked 6th as the most played song in that month. Her record label, Vocal Lion, that lists that single as its 4th bestseller in the same month, and it peaked at number 2 on the pop charts Eleanor is in the middle of recording for Columbia in the late 1930s when she was introduced to Strange Fruit. It's one of our clues from the beginning.
See, that's what I wouldn't have got. So this is in the late 30s. So we're coming up on kind of World War II-ish time.
I believe that's correct.
There might have been some Germans taking over some parts of Poland at the time here or something. I don't know my history that well, but I know it's close.
So this is going to affect the fruit trade. So we get some Strange Fruit. It's a song based on a poem about a lynching written by Abel Meeropol, a Jewish schoolteacher from the Bronx.
Lynching of like a Southern black person or something?
I didn't get into the poem, to be honest with you.
It's not your poetry's not your thing. Not reading it, writing it mostly.
That's true. Typically, I don't. But for her performance of Strange Fruit at the Cafe Society, she had the waiter silence the crowd when the song began. During the song's long introduction, the lights are dimmed, and all movement had to stop. Eleanor begins singing. Only a small spotlight is illuminating her face. On the final note, all the lights went out, and when they come back on, Eleanor is gone. So
Disappeared?
It's like a magic trick. Yep.
Is that your magic trick you want to show me, Brian?
Yes, I can snap my fingers way over here.
Okay.
Quote from Billie about Strange Fruit. She says, quote, "Strange Fruit became my biggest selling record." I went with Gone with the Wind. I figured that.
I thought that was Christopher Walken. Go ahead.
I can't find the fruit.
It's
strange.
Weird. It's weird. It's strange.
Strange Fruit is the equivalent of a top 20 hit back in the 1930s. It's a smash hit. Eleanor's popularity increases after Strange Fruit. She receives a mention in Time magazine.
Ooh.
Quote from Eleanor, quote, "I opened Cafe Society as an unknown. I left 2 years later as a star. I needed the prestige and the publicity, all right, but you can't pay rent with it." She's a very practical person.
Christopher Walken, I'm sorry.
Well,
Which is good, too.
It's what we got now. I'm committed. Eleanor's mother, Sadie, nicknamed the Duchess, opened a restaurant called Mom Holidays.
Oh, so she's still cooking, flipping burgers.
Yeah, man. Pancakes and all.
I'm so hungry.
I'm telling you. She used money from her daughter while playing dice with members of Count Basie's band, with whom she toured in the late 1930s.
I mean, other than Yahtzee, have you ever played dice?
Craps.
Have you? Do you know that?
I don't know it. No, I'm not good at it. Sidebar. So, my family, we spent a lot of holidays in Vegas as adults because my parents head out to AZ for the winter because they don't like Michigan winters anymore. And my brother at the time was living in Vegas, and my other brother makes a bunch of money, so he just flew out to Vegas. So Brian would stay home all by himself for years. And then eventually I got some money, and I was able to go out to Vegas with my family, and we had Christmas and New Year's in Vegas, right? And I meet a girl, get engaged, whatever, and I take her 1 year, right? So we're staying in the Luxor, the big glass pyramid, and with our room deal, we got some money. But it was specific table game money. Like we had money at like a backgammon table, money at the, what's that, 21, whatever that is.
They have backgammon? You mean baccarat?
Whatever. I don't know. It had paddles and flipping. I wasn't doing it, but we had money at the craps table. Like we had these little coins that were only good for the craps table, right?
They're crap coins.
Right, the crappy coins. So we go down to the craps table, and it's Vegas, right? It's Vegas at Christmas time, so it's kind of dead, but one table is just lit up. There's people all the way around the table. Hey, you know, like the 7 or whatever, you know, and people are all excited.
Let me guess. Kid Rock's there.
He might have been, right? So we walk up there, standing next to Kid Rock. Like, what's up, Bob? And my wife's just leaning in, looking at the game. Boom, rolls it, craps.
Is that good or bad?
It's bad. Because
Okay.
then every bet on the table is cleared. That's like when the house wins and somebody craps out.
What is a crap?
I feel like it's 7 or 11 before you hit your point number. So if I just roll, like, say, a 3, I got to roll a 3 again before I hit a 7 or 11, right?
Okay.
That's craps. So if I hit the 3, I make my point, I make a bunch of money, and then we do it again. So we roll up there. First thing, boom, craps. Rolls it again, friggin' whatever, craps. And dice out. And this lady goes, "It's her," and points right at my wife. My wife's like, "Oh, what?" And then she's like, "You're killing the table. We were doing great until she got here." And I just look at my wife and I'm like, "Yeah."
You threw under the bus?
No, I didn't. I was just
It
like,
is her.
Right, it is. And honestly, the guy with the big cane stick, the dealer guy, he looks at me and he goes, "You need to get her out of here right now." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Come back in the morning. There's nobody here. I'll teach you all about it." I'm like, "All right." She's like, "No, I want to play." I'm like, "Come on, honey. You're going to get your ass beat." And so she's all upset. She's like, I just wanted to play craps. I just hate Vegas. Gambling sucks. And so we're walking back up to their room, right? And I'm just like, well, I don't want this to be a total bust. So I start playing slot machines as we go. And I'm pulling, ding, ding, ding. Oh, Brian hits $50. She's like, I hate you. I'm, ding, ding, ding. Brian hits $200. I made $340 on the way from the craps table to our room. And she was so mad. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not a big gambler. I've gone to many casinos and played many times. My problem is I win money.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yes.
Oh, I won.
Right.
I won $50. Oh, cool. But if I lose $50, I'm puking. I hate it.
That's a hit in my weekly budget, man.
I hate losing money like that.
We were at the Little River Casino, and I bet like $200 on a roll of roulette. You remember that? You guys were all there, and you're like,
oh, you
did? I was
did?
like,
Did you win?
I did.
All right.
You guys were all going to be like, oh, we should have lied and went, oh. I'm like,
Red or black.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I play. 50-50. And if you put one on each, you win every time.
Yeah, right. That's exactly how that works.
Well, gambling is one of those things. And so here's a quote about Eleonora on her mom's gambling. Quote, it kept my mom busy and happy, and it stopped her from worrying about watching over me. So the Duchess there begins borrowing large amounts of monies from Eleanor to support the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
And Eleanor is obliged, but she gives her the money. But soon she fell on hard times herself, right? And she says, quote, I needed some money one night, and I knew Mom was sure to have some. I walked in the restaurant like a stockholder, and I asked. Mom turned me down flat, though. She said she wouldn't give me a cent. God bless the child that's got his own.
That's what. Well, when you ain't got none, you can't give none.
I would love to give you the money, but I lost it to the drummer and Count Basie's orchestra playing craps.
Yeah, I got to go bet on the ponies later.
Eleonora storms out. She wrote a song based on the lyric, God bless the child, and then added music. So 1941, God Bless the Child becomes Eleanor's most popular and most covered record. It reaches number 25 on the charts, and it's in third in the Billboard song for that year, selling over 1 million records.
Lemonade out of lemons.
There you go. In 1976, coincidentally, that song is added to the Grammy Hall of Fame. So, yeah, man. So your mom turned you down for the money that you gave her back on the loan, and it turned it into a Grammy Hall of Fame song.
Yeah. Well,
boom.
Nailed it.
Take that, Ma. June 24th, 1942, Eleanor records Travelin' Light with Paul Whiteman for a new label, Capitol Records.
Is that what Capitol is new then, or just new to them?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like Capitol new. No, it's a new record company, Capitol Record.
Oh, yeah.
So, they started somewhere.
Yeah.
Apparently in 1942-ish. Because she is under contract to Columbia, she used the pseudonym Lady Day, which was also going to be one of our clues.
So she didn't want them to know she was singing for another label?
That's correct.
And so she just changed her name, and they'd never figure it out?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, the information exchange wasn't that big back in the day.
I would
so,
think they could listen to the album.
Nah, I don't think that's her.
This sounds
You think
familiar.
it's her? I don't think that's her. It might be her.
Well, that's not her name. Well, that's not her then.
The song Travelin' Light reaches number 23 on the pop charts and number 1 in the R&B charts. Back then, it was called the Harlem Hit Parade. Number 1 with the Hit Parade.
All right.
And did you know what break a leg means?
Well, I always thought it was something you'd tell someone because there was some superstition that you wanted to tell them to go do something bad so they didn't do something bad. Like, you didn't want to tell them, good luck, because in the...
We're not supposed to say that in the stage or the theater.
You're not supposed to say good luck. You're supposed to say break a leg.
Right. Well, here's the thing. What break a leg means, and I stole this thing too also from not John Mulaney, but another comedian, Bert Kreischer, was talking about it. It's when they would clap and stuff, people would stomp their feet back in the day because like the wood floors of the theaters, it would make a loud, you know? So you would want them to stomp so hard that someone would break a leg.
But that's like saying good luck, though.
Why?
I thought break a leg meant... It was like a
It
negative.
is, but that's what I'm saying. You want someone to like you so much, and you want that performer to receive such an ovation that someone stomps their feet to the point they break it.
So you're telling a performer backstage before they go on,
right,
to break a leg.
Right.
You're not referring to breaking their own legs.
No.
You're referring to breaking the audience's legs.
Right, out of appreciation for your performance. So you'd be like, ah.
All right. Well, if anybody out there in the podcast world can shed any more light on this, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, if there's a podcast about like
breaking legs. It's one about the Italian mob.
Entomology or entomology, whatever, the study of words and phrase origins. hit us up. See if I did it. See if I nailed it.
Biblioteca.
Donde está la biblioteca? Let's see. August 7th, 1944, Eleanor signs to Decca Records when she's 29. Her first Decca recording was Lover Man, number 16 in the pop charts, number 5 in the R&B, one of her biggest hits.
So she's been putting out big hits for a while now.
Couple years now, yeah. She's
Yeah.
about a decade in or so.
Yeah.
The success and distribution of that song makes Eleanor a staple in the pop community, leading to solo concerts, which is rare for jazz singers in the late 1940s.
Especially black women.
100%.
Yep.
1946, Eleanor records Good Morning Heartache. Although the song failed to chart, she sang it a couple of live performances, and there are said to be only 3 live recordings known.
Of that song of
Yeah.
her?
Yeah, Good
Or
Morning
of any
Heartache.
song of her?
No, just Good Morning Heartache.
Okay.
You got 3 chances to listen to it. That's it.
Then that's it.
September 1946, Eleanor begins her only major film, New Orleans. She stars opposite Louis Armstrong and Woody Herman.
They probably did a lot of singing.
I bet you it was more like a concert singing show.
Yeah.
So, plagued by racism and McCarthyism of the day, producer Jules Levy and scriptwriter Herbert Biberman are pressed to reduce Eleanor and Armstrong's roles to avoid the impression that black people created jazz.
They didn't want people to think blacks had something to do with jazz music?
Correct. Their attempts fail because 1947, Biberman is listed as one of the Hollywood 10 and sent to jail.
Oh, yeah, that was the communist crap, huh?
Correct. Hollywood 10 is a blacklist for communists or sympathizers who were barred from working by all the studios.
He's a commie.
That guy's a commie.
Where'd a little kid like you learn a word like that?
Eleanor's drug addictions were becoming a problem on the set of the movie, too. She earned more than $1,000 per week from club gigs, but spent most of it on heroin.
Ooh, wow.
She got the H.
Yeah.
Her lover, Joe Guy, travels to Hollywood while Eleanor is filming and supplies her with drugs.
Got a runner.
Yep. Now, the producers figured that out. Guy is banned from the set when he's found there by Eleanor's manager. They're like, got him. That's the guy. Cut him off. By the late 1940s, Eleanor had begun recording a number of slow, sentimental ballads, which is why I'm doing Gone with the Wind for her voice.
Well, maybe it's because she was all drugged out.
That is not what I'm thinking. I'm doing my heroin voice. 1947, Eleanor is at her commercial peak, having made $250,000 in 3 previous years. She's ranked number 2 in the Downbeat poll for 1946 and 47. July 6, 1947, she's ranked 5th in Billboard's annual college poll of, quote, girl singers.
You're pretty good for a girl singer.
1946, Eleanor won the Metronome Magazine popularity poll.
I have a metronome, a real wooden one at my house. I needed it. I needed that thing. I never used it for what it was meant to be used for, but you wind it up. It's wooden. It's a triangle. You take the face off. You can move the little weight up and down the arm. It's fun. It sounds just like that.
May 16th, dude, freaking 15 years of private drum lessons, that metronome is drilled into my head.
15 years of private drum lessons, and Brian's left with this.
And I'll still drop the freaking tempo. May 16th, 1947, Eleanor is arrested for possession of narcotics in her New York apartment.
Heroin, huh?
Yeah.
They had a heroin back then.
That was her thing. May 27th, she's in court. Quote from Eleanor, quote, "It was called the United States of America versus Billie Holiday, and that's just the way it felt."
That was her court case?
Yeah.
And they used her stage name?
Trial of the century. Well, paper headlines, I'm
okay,
sure.
Okay. All right.
During the trial, she heard that her lawyer would not come to the trial to represent her.
Well, that's a bad lawyer.
Quote from Eleonora, "In plain English, that meant no one in the world was interested in looking out for me." Dehydrated and unable to hold down food, she pleaded guilty and then asked to be sent to the hospital. The district attorney spoke in her defense, saying, quote, "If Your Honor, please, this is a case of a drug addict, but more seriously, however, than most of our cases. Miss Holliday is a professional entertainer and among the higher ranked as far as income was concerned." So basically, he's like, come on, man, she's rich.
Yeah, she's rich. You know we're supposed to treat rich people different, right?
Warden, let me out of jail. She's sentenced to Alderson Federal Prison Camp in West Virginia. The drug possession conviction causes her to lose her New York City cabaret card. and that prevents her from working anywhere that sells alcohol. You got to have a card as a performer in New York or wherever else to perform where they're selling booze. So now she can only perform in concert venues and theaters.
Where they don't sell booze.
Correct.
Okay.
Boo. March 6, 1948, Eleanor is released early because of good behavior. She arrives in Newark. Her pianist, Bobby Tucker, and her dog, Mister, were waiting for her.
Oh, that's nice.
The dog leaps at Eleanor, knocking off her hat and tackling her to the ground. And then just this lady thought the dog was attacking her, and she screams. And so then a crowd gathers, and reporters arrive. Like,
how long did this dog licking her face for?
you know, people, the freaking, oh, look what's happening. Oh, my God. You know,
well, you said the reporters arrived. I mean, by the time the reporters got there, they were in the car leaving.
Well, it's New York City, man. I don't know. I
There's
guess
a
reporters are everywhere.
There's just a string of them waiting at the cab line.
Back in the 40s, man. They're just, what's the new hot tip? What's going to go on? Hey, what's happening?
The big cameras with the huge silver flashy thing on the top.
Giant flashbulb.
Looks like a thing you put oil in your vehicle with, a big funnel.
March 27, 1948, people funnel into Carnegie Hall to see Eleonora play her first show, Getting Out of the Joint. It's a sold-out crowd. Eleonora is hesitant, though. She's unsure the audience would accept her after being arrested. She's like, man, I got arrested. I don't know if people are going to like that out of a celebrity, if they'll let me do my job still.
I'm a celebrity. I'm not supposed to get arrested.
Right. I got arrested. I'm famous.
I let everybody down.
I feel bad. 2,700 tickets were sold in advance, a record at the time for the venue, Carnegie Hall.
2,700, that's it?
Well, it's Carnegie Hall, man. It's just like a indoor. You ever been there?
No.
You know how you get there?
No.
Practice. Oh, her popularity was unusual.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, I get it.
Her popularity was unusual because she didn't have a current hit record at the time, right? She'd been in the joint. So they were like, I don't know if she's going to sell. Nobody thought she was going to be able to do this. She had such a good time. She sang 32 songs that night. You go to a concert, you get 32 songs, dude. That's a hell of a show.
That's a lot of songs. I don't know how if it was like all night long.
Was probably just doing jukebox length songs anyway.
Night long.
All night, all night, all night long, all night.
You know, he's been around for a long time, man.
Everyone you meet be jamming in the streets all night long.
That was a big song.
It was, man. That was good.
And what was the one where Hello, where they had the blind lady making a bust of him out of like clay.
Is it me you're looking
That was
for?
the worst.
I can see it in your eyes.
That was the worst clay bust of Lionel Richie
Well,
ever.
she was blind. No offense.
Well, I mean, you would think then maybe she could
like feel his
do
face more.
something.
She probably never met him. They just probably hired her for the video.
Do you think that chick in the real life was blind?
Oh no, I highly doubt that.
I have no idea.
I think she's probably somebody like on TV or something like that. They just hired her out as an actress. Like Courtney Cox was in the Bruce Springsteen video. Oh, I'm just picking a random chick out of the crowd. Yeah, right.
I remember that video thinking, I think the point of this video is that this blind sculptor was able to make his face just from hearing his voice.
Ooh.
And then thinking to myself, but that's a really, really bad sculpture.
Maybe she didn't like his voice.
Well, yeah, I think whoever they actually hired to make that sculpture of Lionel Richie.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like in the back, the guy
prop
that,
master.
Yeah, who can make this real quick? We're gonna make it look like this girl who's blind, who's really not blind. Make that. So make it really, really good. Impress me. It was terrible.
That's not impressive.
Terrible.
Like, we don't want it to be too good.
No, we want it as good as you can
We
make
want
it.
it to look like she's like a new artist. Like she hadn't done this medium before. Maybe she's acrylic paints and now she's trying clay. So
Maybe she's from high school and this is her class.
really deep. Maybe the actress didn't really know how to sculpt and they're like, just do it. You're fine. We'll give you an extra $200.
My daughter's, all the kids are doing the online learning with the computers and the teachers are in there. Like, they're doing what they got to do.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing pretty good. She has a ceramics class.
I took that twice in high school. Not because I wanted to, not because I had to.
No, she's doing ceramics online now in the basement, taking the computer down there, playing with clay.
Oh, yeah. You had to buy a kiln and
No, we didn't have
a bunch
to get
of clay.
They will let you drop the pieces off at the school, like in a box labeled, and then they'll fire them.
Sure.
I don't know that she's had any fired yet, but they can't paint them or dip them or do what
Glaze.
glazing.
It's called glaze.
Yeah. She hasn't had anything fired yet. I think she was waiting until she could actually, because Amy
Yeah.
is a ceramic. They have 2 ceramics teachers at the high school, and Amy, one of her good friends, is one of them. And she doesn't have Amy as a teacher, but Amy can take her into the school.
Oh, yeah.
And
Good
I mean,
stuff.
after she's already had her grades, and yeah, you did good, whatever. There's an A in ceramics.
There you go.
So yeah. And my other kid has got gym online.
She's running in circles.
They run up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, man, I didn't get the high traffic carpet, Mr. Pevalaqua, whoever the freak gym teacher is. Bevilacqua.
Who was that?
Mr.
Bevilacqua. Bevilacqua? Who was that? What was that from?
He's a gym teacher.
From?
When we were younger. No, that's Mr. Boudreaux. He's the gym teacher on Seinfeld.
That's what it was.
Yes, Mr. Bevilacqua. Can't stand you.
What size underwear you wear? Let's look.
Wow, this took a turn.
All right. Back to, what are we talking about? Axl Rose? I can't even remember.
We're talking about Eleonora, and she's whooping ass at this comeback concert at Carnegie Hall, right?
Yeah.
So she sold it out, 32 songs that night. Someone sends her a box of gardenias during the show.
I think they were gardenias.
So like the show is so long, someone had a chance to go to a flower shop, place an order. They filled it, ran it back to the show. She's still singing because she's only like 20 songs in.
Yeah.
They give her a box of gardenias. Quote from Eleonora, quote, "My old trademark. I took them out of the box, fastened them smack to the side of my head without even looking twice." Now, here's the problem. There was a hat pin in the gardenias, and Eleanor unknowingly stuck it in the side of her head. And, quote, "I didn't feel anything until the blood started rushing down in my eyes and ears."
It was a heroin needle, wasn't it, Brian?
After a third curtain call, she passed out, so maybe.
How big was the needle?
Yeah. I'm
Was it a
imitating.
knitting needle?
I'm like 3 feet away from my head. Yeah, man, you're knitting. Drop one, pearl two. That can be big needles. Have you seen those giant knitted blankets they have now where like the yarn is like a softball size
And
diameter?
you know what they use for the knitting needles?
I don't. Pull cues?
Your arms.
Oh, yeah, you're
You just
swimming?
pull and make a big, yeah.
I'd rather do pool cues.
Knocking lamps down. breaking
We're going to need a new
plates.
pole barn for my new knitting hobby. So January 22nd, 1949, Eleonora is arrested again in her room at the Hotel Mark Twain in San Francisco. She said she'd begun using hard drugs in the early 40s. Not before then, though. Those are just soft drugs. She marries trombonist Jimmy Monroe on August 25th, 1941.
I heard he was a good tromboner.
He knew his way around a boner. While they were still married, she became involved with trumpeter Joe Guy, her drug dealer.
She owed him.
So, right, when you're on the hook. She divorces Monroe in 1947, also splits up with Guy. In October 1949, she records Crazy He Calls Me.
She sounds like she was kind of living the rock and roll lifestyle.
I believe she is a little rock and roll at this
Yeah.
point, going through bunch of
she was
drugs.
she was probably forced into prostitution when she was a kid. She'd seen the hard side of the tracks.
Oh, she grew up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for her, she's like, I got a little money, got a little freedom. I know I'm black. I know I'm female, but okay, now let's go.
Yup. She had that fuck you money back in the 40s. That's crazy. Think about that.
Do what I want.
Exactly. Crazy He Calls Me. That song gets inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame
Crazy.
in 2010. So she was long dead at that.
Crazy for feeling
Nice.
so-
Much like that hit, this hit was her most successful recording for Decca Records after Loverman. So she's crushing it, man.
She's still doing really good.
The charts of the 1940s do not list songs outside of the top 30, making it somewhat impossible to recognize minor hits. So she probably had a couple more songs that we don't hear about that were still popular, but not.
And probably a couple
Top
dudes you don't
30s.
know about.
Oh, for sure.
I mean-
I'm sure some road dogs out there. Yeah, man. I got guys in San Francisco to Seattle. I don't know.
You get after it. And it wasn't cool that you're a chick back then, or a dude anyways. I mean, you didn't really talk about that much. That wasn't such a publicity stunt, positive publicity stunt.
No, that's true. That was sort of frowned upon.
So you just did it because you wanted to.
Yeah. Losing that cabaret license, she really reduced what she could make, though, because she couldn't play those clubs anymore. So now basically she's stuck doing theaters, concerts. She didn't get proper record royalties.
But was
so
that just in New York? Or
Well,
all over the country?
I think it's all over.
I don't don't know. Liquor
Well,
laws are
yeah, but
different in every state.
they're changing. But remember, Prohibition, I think, was nationalized.
Oh, well, maybe it was her,
So it might be
like her
carryover.
SAG card,
There you
Screen
go.
Actors Guild, and she had to give into this. Yeah, okay. It hurt her. It's bad.
The problem gets worse when Eleonora's records went out of print too in the 1950s.
They went out of print?
Yeah, so
What's
they
that
stopped
mean?
printing. Like
They
they stopped stamping records from her.
from her.
Yep.
'Cause
They're
she
like,
wasn't-
that's old 20s and 30s and 40s music. It's the 50s now because now you got chubby checkers, you got the swing. People are switching over genres.
Okay.
So she still didn't receive royalties even years later. 1958, she received a royalty check for $11.
Oh, jeez.
Dude, and we just talked about Grammy Hall of Fame. We talked about #1 hit, top of the pop charts, top of the Harlem Hit Parade. Top
So
of
she
this.
wasn't getting any royalties for anything?
She got hosed.
It
Yeah.
sounds like, wow.
Yep. 1948, Eleonora plays at the Ebony Club, which was against the law because she didn't have a cabaret license. Her manager, John Levy, is convinced he could get her cabaret card back and allow her to open without one. So he's like, quote, oh, no, this is Eleonora. Quote, I opened scared. I was expecting the cops to come at any chorus and carry me off. But nothing happened. I was a huge success.
But she's getting paid for her club appearances or whatever. Where
Yeah,
they hand her a
performing.
check on the way out the door.
Right.
But not for any of her vinyl stuff.
Oh, none of that.
Yeah.
Nope, she gets none of that. 1950s, Eleonora's drug abuse, drinking, and relationships with abusive men caused her health to deteriorate.
I bet.
It's not a good combo.
Doing a bunch of crack and then getting the shit kicked out of you will never help.
That's not how you follow that up.
That's not a good way to go.
Her later recordings showed the effects of declining health on her voice. It grew coarse and no longer projected in its former vibrancy. See, I'm doing the right voice. Eleonora toured Europe in 1954. January 1954, the tour starts in Stockholm, then Germany, Netherlands, Paris, and finally Switzerland. November 10th, 1956, she performs 2 concerts before packed audiences at Carnegie Hall, New York City again. March 28th, 1957, she marries Louis McKay. He's a mob enforcer. Not violent at all. McKay, like most of the men in her life, is abusive.
Beats the crap out of her.
Early 1959, Eleonora is diagnosed with cirrhosis, probably of the liver. Although she had initially stopped drinking on her doctor's orders, it was not long before she relapses. 1959, she's lost 20 pounds, 1.9 kilogram for those metric people. Her friends all tried to...
What do you mean those metric people?
Those
Who are you calling those metric people?
You people.
You metric people.
Her friends all tried to persuade her to go to the hospital. They're like, come on, man. Go. May 31st, 1959, Eleanor is finally taken to Metropolitan Hospital in New York for treatment of liver disease and heart disease. The Federal Bureau of Narcotics, under the order of Harry J. Anslinger, had been targeting Eleonora since at least 1939. She's under federal investigation.
Well, that's probably back when they were investigating almost all celebrity singers and with the, the commie stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm buying. So she's arrested, handcuffed for drug possession. As she lied dying in her hospital room, it's raided, and she's placed under police guard.
Well, of course there's drugs. It's a hospital.
They're everywhere here.
Yeah.
They're sick with them. That guy's got some. That guy's got... She's taking them right now.
There's a whole room over there full of drugs.
Dude. June 15th, she receives last rites from the Roman Catholic Church. July 17th, 3:10 a.m. What do we know about specific times? It's never good.
No, it's the...
She dies of pulmonary edema and heart failure caused by cirrhosis of the liver. She was 44 years old.
Oh, how old?
44.
Shit.
In the clear. In her final years, she had been progressively swindled out of her earnings. She died with a grand total of... How much do you think she had in her bank account?
Hold on. $7,893.27.
Oh, my God. The first number is correct. The rest is all wrong.
70,000.
The first 2 numbers are correct.
What?
70 cents.
Holy cow.
0.70 in the bank when she died. That was her total worth.
Holy cow.
Dude, they screwed her out of all sorts of money.
Well, okay. At some point, you're letting yourself get screwed.
Well, no, yeah, the heroin and the the mob enforcer probably did not help with the bottom line.
You can always take the tool route.
licensing.
No. Oh, you're not going to let me out of my contract? I got a contract with you for 10 years? Fine.
See you in 10 years.
I ain't doing shit.
Yeah, man.
I mean, and I think Neil Young had a thing. Hey, maybe that Neil Young podcast that's on that podcast thing that we're with now.
Yeah, check out.
Maybe we can ask those guys about, so Neil Young was under a contract, and they're like, nope, you still owe us an album or some, 2 albums or something. He's like, oh, okay, I'll get you an album. And he made, on purpose, some bad stuff.
Jeez.
There's some bad, like a electronic version of Transformer Man. It's just terrible.
Was that Horse? Crazy Horse? Was that?
Well, no, he thought that was good.
Oh. All right.
He thought they were the best.
Sorry. She did not have, dude, she was not the best.
Cray.
70 cents in the bank. July 21st, 1959, her funeral mass is held at Church of St. Paul the Apostle in Manhattan. She's buried at St. Raymond's Cemetery in the Bronx, NYC. When Eleonora died, the New York Times published a short obituary on page 15 without a byline. So, man, they scooped her up and dumped her out as quick as possible.
Well, hold on. Here's what I'm going to believe. Here's what I choose to believe. That somebody that she was close to and her worked it out real good to where when she died, she showed zero money and they took the money.
Oh.
And so it didn't have to get taxed.
There you go.
Because,
state tax will kill you.
Rich people want to pass that along to their heirs.
Generational wealth.
Yeah, without having a bunch of hands touching it, government hands, touching it.
Tax it once, man.
Let's just all believe that's what happened. She was wealthy beyond belief, and she handed it all off to a mob boss enforcer.
Well, this corroborates your thought train there. She left an estate of $1,000, and her best recordings from the 1930s were mostly out of print, so she's got nothing for value, nothing for income, so she's so far on your plan. She's posthumously nominated for 23 Grammy Awards. Billie Holiday received several Esquire magazine awards during her lifetime. Her posthumous awards also include being inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, Ertgun Jazz Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the ASCAP Jazz Wall of Fame.
Is that the Hall of Fame for like the animal lovers? What was it?
The ASCAP.
Okay. Did Sarah McLachlan sing at that?
It's possible. In the arms of an age. Just stop showing sad puppies. Take my money. God. 1985, a statue of Billie Holiday was erected in Baltimore, Maryland, USA. June 25th, 2019, the New York Times Magazine listed Billie Holiday amongst hundreds of artists whose materials were reportedly destroyed in the 2008 Universal Studio fires.
I was going to bring that. I was going to comment on that earlier in the show.
Yep.
We've already used that joke.
No, it comes up, man.
Yeah. You said she only had 3 known recorded blah, blah, blahs of that.
Right.
Will they get burned up in the big fire?
They did. If you really like Billie Holiday, the Billie Holiday Monument is located at Pennsylvania and West Lafayette Avenue in Baltimore's Upton neighborhood. You can go check out a big statue of her. And finally, a quote from Billie Holiday, Eleonora something herself. They think they can make fuel from horse manure now. I don't know if your car will be able to get 30 miles to the gallon, but it's sure gonna put a stop to siphoning. Billie Holiday, everybody. What'd you think of Billie Holiday?
I had other than just listening to a couple songs and albums in my dad's, barn back in the day, I didn't know nothing about her.
Yeah, right?
I was not even really sure she was black. I didn't know.
No, I agree. When I started this, I was the same thing. I'm like, oh, I know your name. I know you're like super famous vocalist and all that stuff, but I didn't know the story was like that.
Yeah, and I could probably only pick out a couple of her songs because I don't think we sat there and listened to the, we didn't have like Rush Day, Billie Holiday Day, where we listened to all of her stuff in a row.
No, right?
My dad would pop one side on and, oh, I like this song, and then we'd turn it over to, Led Zeppelin or some crap. I was gonna say Aerosmith. My dad doesn't. He was done listening to the music by the time Aerosmith came around.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well. All right. Because we're talking about Aerosmith, now it's time for some feedback.
Yeah.
we have a Facebook comment from Jason Roy.
Okay.
And it says, nothing. It's just a picture of action figure Aaron Carter.
Oh, let's see.
Let's see here.
I'll describe it.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I'll describe. So our audience. Hey, so Brian is thinking about trying to do a video thing here with us. I think he's really we're ugly. Oh, it looks like.
Oh, you just coveted my phone. That's
I
fine.
did. I'm coveting your phone.
Oh my God.
It actually kind of it has a picture of an action figure, just kind of a bust of it.
His face
and
head.
it's his face and head, and it looks like it's attached to a shiny body where you can maybe just turn the neck a little bit. It's got some blonde hair with some dark roots, just a normal looking face, white kid looking thing. But the thing that gets me right away is that above the picture, because Jason sent this on Brian's Facebook post. Is this on Crime and Music?
Yes, it's Crime and Music feed. Yep.
Right above the picture, it says Jason Roy. So not knowing anything, you're looking at you go, oh, there's a picture of Jason Roy. You're like, no, I know what Jason. No, wait, hold on. It kind of looks like Jason Roy, Brian.
A little bit.
That's like old school. Remember when he dyed his hair blonde?
I mean, yes.
Remember when Eminem dyed his hair blonde?
Yeah, that's right.
that's Jason Roy.
Many fish in the sea, you never look like me.
All right,
let's
Jason
Roy.
Jason Roy now looks like Aaron Carter in my world.
There you go. That's what happened.
Aaron Carter action figure.
We've got a speak pipe. We've got more
Kung
feedback.
Fu grip.
We got a speak pipe from Skittles because he's colorful. Let's hear what Skittles has to say.
You like to dance on the hip-hop spots. Then you cruise to the grooves to connect the dots. Not just urban, you like the pop, because she was living La Vida Loca.
Skittles, everybody.
Ricky Martin had an ass that wouldn't stop. I'm just saying.
Dude, you are correct. Ben's a fan back from the old Menudo days. Like, he's been on that Ricky Martin chain. We got one more speak pipe. We got
hold on. No, Skittles he's been on before, correct?
Oh, Skittles has been on several times. Yeah, he's our
right.
poet. He leaves poetry usually about butts. So, but living La Vida Loca, I like it.
He just talks of music. So you got to listen to the words and try to put it. I couldn't put it together until he said the last bit there.
Well, let's do it again.
That's fine.
All
That's
right.
good.
We got one more speak pipe from Ann. Let's see what Ann has to say.
Hey, I'd just like to let you guys know I've been listening regularly. And today I have actually hit my second episode with the co-host being a new buddy, Jason. I'd just like to put it out there. He's much more pleasing to listen to than Ben is.
Yes.
Ben sounds like he's got a bag of dicks in his mouth and he's slobbering everywhere.
And everybody.
Ann gets me.
I've been sitting on this for a couple weeks. I'm like, please come over. I want to play this message so bad.
Oh my gosh. She thank you, Ann.
If you would like to be like Ann, Skittles, or Jason, go to crimeandmusic.com. Your dad's in it now. .com. Scroll down to the speak pipe. Just push a button. You don't have to leave your name. She left her name as Ann. Maybe I made it up. One or the other. But you too can leave a message for Ben, myself, or Jason, or just comment on the show. That would be awesome since we're talking about that stuff. It's time to get out of here for this week. But man, that was a fun one, eh?
Yeah, we had 2 speak pipes. That's the first. I think I've been on with 2 speak pipes.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
I'd space them out, but yeah, no, you're
good.
right.
All right. No, Billie Holiday. Learned a lot. It was fun.
I thought so too. Man, again, you guys like this stuff, hit us up. feedback@crimeandmusic.com. You want to send us an email or any type of artwork or songs. I mean, it does happen. People haven't sent anything yet, but I hear about it.
You want people to send you artwork?
Sure.
Okay.
You can send me a file.
Didn't
Absolutely.
somebody send us a jazz song once on a?
Oh yeah, no, we got the sexy sax man. He sent
Yeah.
us a jazz song and a clarinet song. Oh, if you're out there, dude, send us another one of those. It's been a while. We'll get you back.
Play something off key with a saxophone or a piccolo.
Okay.
Something off key.
Off key.
Yeah. But we got to know what the song is.
What key would they be off?
I don't know, just like so it doesn't sound good, but it sounds perfectly bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Well, if you can make that happen, let us know, guys. Leave reviews at iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. If there's anything else we can do for you, let us know. Like the song says, never trust a big butt and a smile.
I wonder what Ann's butt looks like.